Hello everyone, welcome to day 20 of the holiday card series for 2024. I'm back in my craft room. I'm back home from a whirlwind trip to Europe for the Christmas markets. It was a lot of travel. It was a lot of fun. It was so festive. I loved being over there. Before we get into the card for today, we have a little bit of housekeeping, just a follow-up to that Olo Markers Tower giveaway. We have a winner. I put the winner's name down in the video description. Melissa Schaefer, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me check. Yes, Melissa Schaefer. I have emailed you, Melissa, so please check your email so you can claim your prize. And a big congrats to Melissa and a big thank you to Olo for, sending that tower that I could share with Melissa. So I hope you guys enjoyed that sale over Olo Marker and taking it. Seriously, there were so many good Black Friday sales while I was gone. I was like on my phone, like doing a little shopping, a little crafting shopping, a little clothing shopping. It was a lot. Hello to everyone over in the chat. Hello, hello. So many familiar faces. I'm glad to be back live. I feel like it's been about 3 months, not just 2 weeks, but it's been a while. Another bit of housekeeping. My December 2024 release just went live today over at conqueredandninths.com. In fact, I'm going to be using a few of the items from the release in today's card. Even though the release is most definitely not holiday related, we are going to make it holiday related, with the right colors and the right festive attitude. I think you can almost make anything a Christmas card. So we're going to do that tonight. I'm trying to think if there's any other housekeeping we needed to go over. I think that's about it. So actually sitting in front of me, you're going to see, let's see, here we go. Here's the overhead. I have all my labels for my new release, which I have not put on the little thing. So I thought I would just do that real quick now while we're sitting here. So you're going to see my December release. I ran out of time. I printed out these labels right before we were going live. And I thought, you know what? It's not as important as getting everything else ready, like the camera and all that. So I put it off. And I thought I would just, show you a little glimpse of the release while I put the labels on. So 6x6 background snaps. Actually, like 5.5 by 5.5. Like that's the workable area. Here's the Cheerful Flowers dies. We're going to be using the background stamp and the stencils tonight. So you're going to see this background stamp right here and also this stencil set. It's going to come back around. We're going to use those tonight. Hold on, my comments aren't scrolling, so I've got to move over there. Oh, Rosie, that's funny. Rosie says, I love how it's very Christina-y, but also very C9-y. You found the perfect company to be with. You know what? It really is the best little morph. We're morphing together. It's just the best. It's worked out so well. And I love working with all those people. It kind of makes sense that like the style, like of what I do, would really mesh with the style of the people that are designing over at Conquered and Ninth, because back in the day, we worked together at the same company, so I think having a similar aesthetic would, kind of lend itself to that. Granted, it's been like 15 years since we all worked together, and I'm sure we've all evolved in different ways, but one of the main designers over at Conquered at Ninth, her name's Jen. We were actually roommates for a year. We were coworkers at an old company that we used to work for. And then we were roommates for a year. I know Jen very well. We have season tickets to Broadway shows here in Salt Lake City. So I see her quite often. And Murrow is talking shop when we're going to the show. So it's kind of funny. Oh, Bethany's asking, how's the jet lag? You know what? The jet lag hit me, right when I first got home yesterday. And I slept for like 9 to 10 hours straight. at not good sleeping hours. It was from like 2 p.m. to midnight. I've been awake since midnight. So that's 18 hours now. I'm sure I'm probably going to fall over very tired and asleep the minute I'm done with my live here. Where are my stamp pockets from? So they're from a few different places. The really, really heavy ones that are like this are from Brutus Monroe. They're 6x8, but they're exactly 6x8. So a 6x8 stamp set doesn't always fit inside because, you know, sometimes you need a little give on the sides. But I love these because it's like a really, really thick plastic. It's great for like larger die sets. So in fact, I think I might move these into one of those pockets. The larger pockets that will accommodate like, I don't know, how wide is this? It's like almost 7 inches wide. These, I believe, are from Simon Says Stamp. It's their largest pocket that they sell. And I use those for large stamp sets and as well as large stencils. And I just put black cardstock in the stencil pockets and white in the stamp. That helps, you know, visually keeping them separated in my head. And then these are clear cello sleeves that I bought at Simon Says Stamp, but they're actually much taller when you buy them, and I just lop them off a little smaller for all of my background stamps. So that's where all of those are from. Okay, let's get into today's cards, or card, I should say. Maybe I will make doubles because, you know, I'm getting ready to mail out Christmas cards, and I'm nervous I'm not going to have enough already made, you know, like I'm starting to wonder. Kathy's asking, what labeler do you use? I use a Brother, oh, sorry, wrong one. I use a Brother P-Touch Cube machine. You can hook it up to your computer and then print out your labels from there. I'll try to remember to link it in the video description, you know, when I'm done here. Okay, so I'm going to start by stamping the background stamp. And if you watched my release walkthrough video this morning, you may have seen me mention that this particular background stamp does match the stencil, but because the stamp can sort of kind of just like, you know, because it's this clear material, it can sort of stretch and warp as you're peeling it off the sheet. So I'm going to like be really careful as I peel it off the sheet. I mean, you could even just like tape this down and then it won't be warped. But because it comes off the backer sheet like this, it can kind of morph and warp the stamp a little bit. So sometimes the stencil won't match like perfectly. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just need to be careful. And then also when it comes to, I totally forgot to grab cardstock. When it comes to lining up the stencil, more than likely you're going to have to like stencil one portion and then like shift the stencil a little bit, stencil some more, shift. You'll see what I mean here in a minute, because without fail, it's going to be a little off. And it's just because of the nature of the clear stamp. Sorry, I'm just standing up and I'm walking away, but only so that I can come and cut some cardstock. I'm going to stamp right in the center of my cardstock here. And yeah, we're going to do heat emboss lines on this. Okay, so I'm going to make sure this is really in that corner. Make sure that's really down. I'm going to use an anti-static powder tool just to prep the cardstock. I don't think it would get a whole lot of embossing powder everywhere, but I'm going to use some Versamark, you know, and my Versamark actually needs re-inking, so I'm actually not going to use Versamark. I'm going to use, I have some other ink pads from other companies that I think are a little more juicy. I'm going to use this one, the Embossing and Watermark ink pad from Hero Arts. Oh yeah, it's like super juicy. All right, I'm going to put that down. Use my little press tool. Oh, Brianne says, I did zero investigation into these products before I bought them, so I'm glad I'm watching this. Okay, good to know. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh. You know, I can see that stamped pretty well. Well, can you kind of see that on camera a little bit? I'm going to stamp one more time just to make sure. All right. Stamp this down. Use my press tool again. Oh, Thurza, thank you. Thurza says, just love your nails. Thank you. I just did them this morning at like, 2 a.m. when I was awake. Bing, like wide awake. Wide awake. And if I don't have like solid lines on this, it's not the end of the world. Because, if it starts to look a little rustic, I can add some gold splatter. And then it looks intentional. There's a way to fix most any issue. Making sure I have all that melted. All right, I'm going to use the waffle flower grip mat. This is the, what is this, 8x8, 8.5, 8.5. Dang it, it probably smells fresh too. It probably does. What is the scent of a fresh Misty? Is it morning sunrise? Is that what it would be called? Sorry, you guys. I'm on one tonight. This is, I think the tiredness is getting to me. The jet lag is getting to me. And, yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's the stencil over here. So the stencil set has 6 stencils. These are big ones. And that's because you have the full design. If you just want to, we're a simple gal, we're going to do all the design on one. It's all good. You also have, this will do just the background, right? So we're going to use this today. Then you've got flower 1, flower 2, the flower centers, and then you have the leaves. So I'm going to pick out some colors. We're going to go for Concord colors just because that's what I have. What are we thinking? Do we like this? Like, it's a little pinky red, but with like toned greens, like not bright green. I think that could be fun. Now we'll do this. And now it has more area on the outside to stick to this grip mat. So it should be great. Okay. The background, I was thinking it would be cranberry. So I'm going to continue stenciling all the way over to this other side, even though it's not matched up completely, because then I'm just going to shift the stencil and I'll get those spots that I missed. Okay, I'm going to lift up my stencil and I'm going to shift it over just a little bit in a couple spots. Like I can see right over here, there's quite a bit of white. Over here it lined up really well. But right here, it just needs to be shifted just a little so that I can get the other side and I won't have any weird white spots. So now I'll just come over here and I'll get that edge. So I can get it lined up on this side really well with the gold embossing. And then I'll lift it up and I'll move the stencil over to get this side. You can see how off it is over here. Okay, I'm gonna start with watermelon. I'm kind of concentrating the color on the center of the flower, but also I'm gonna add some shading. I'm gonna come in with the poppy. And I'm just adding a little bit in the center there. In fact, I might even add a little bit of the cranberry. I'm going to take my Gradual Dots stencil pack. This is also from this release. And I'm thinking like the smaller dots like right there. It's coming with that poppy. Okay, how's that look? That's fun. Because I want there to be some like color variation in the flowers. All right, how's that look? Cute. I don't know how much it'll really show, but yeah, I don't think it really shows much. Okay, so we have a little polka dot there. That's pretty cute. It looks like they all have chicken pox. A little bit. Looks a little bit like chicken pox. Okay, I think I do want to add a little more onto these, like, so that the polka dots are a little more blended in. And I'm doing poppy on this, even though it's on the watermelon. I want them to sort of fade to the background a little bit. I don't want them to be quite so in your face, if that makes sense. I'm going to sea glass. We're going to start, sea glass is very light, so I'm going to start with a lighter brush. And then I'm going to add Juniper. I love sea glass and Juniper. Okay, let's hang this up. Now, these aren't going to stay. This is looking, all I'm thinking is this is looking like a pizza. I don't like this. All right, let's try a navy. What is happening? Okay, here we go. And I'll just, you know what, and if it messes up, it's fine, because I was going to start over anyway. But if I salvage it, even better. And I already know I'm going to have to shift my stencil a little bit because I can see little peaks of red coming out. Okay. I don't hate it, but it is also not my favorite. Fig. Sometimes fig fixes everything. So we're just going to go with it. We're going to put a little bit of fig on and see what happens. Because it can be kind of a darkerish purple. And I'm wondering if that'll be like the deeper color in the center that I was sort of craving. Oh, this is not even Christmas anymore, y'all. Okay. I think I ruined it. You're eliminating things that didn't work. That's what you're doing. Well, you can't say you didn't try. Gold splatter might help it a little bit. That is true. I actually have a little blue left on my brush. I don't even need to dip into the ink pad, really. Okay. Darkened up the leaves. All right. Or maybe I'll just do like watermelon. I'll just do it pink. That might be pretty. It's okay. I'm going to coat that flower up there I don't like with lots of paint splatter. That's how we'll save it, right? It does break up a lot of the black, which I love. I don't think I'm even going to ask for opinions on this. I'm just going to do it. Oh my word, I feel so much better. Y'all, I hated that flower. I could like not even look past it. The color on it, I was just, no. And that makes me sad. I know some of you really loved it. I could not bring myself to like it. I was like, no, it needs to go. Okay, so this was the A2 Thin Frames dies. This card is not wanting to be carding right now. It's coming around. I'm now enjoying it. But she was reluctant. She did not want to be a card. I'm going to adhere this just directly down onto the card front. Oh look, I still have the Post-it tape attached. Adhere that on. Then when it comes to the thin frame, I find it easiest to add the glue right around the inner area. And if you're not using the inner area, like just temporarily adhere it, and then you have something to guide you when you go to put the frame on. Here we go. I just have to pick out a sentiment strip. Do I want it to just be Happy Christmas? I'm coloring the edges of the white cardstock that this sentiment strip is printed on, and then it makes it look like it's like a black piece of cardstock with white ink on it. I don't want to cover a bunch of this up, which sounds crazy to say because I was like not enjoying the background there for a minute, but now I really like it like this. And it's just simple. And I think it kind of goes Christmas a little bit. I think it could go there. Amber says, the evolution of this card has been fascinating. Right? It went about 5 different directions. All right, so here is the card for tonight. It took some twists and turns. We ended with this very simple card design here at the end. I think it turned out pretty good, even for everything that I went through to get here, but you know, it turned out. Thanks so much for watching. This was day 20 of the holiday card series. So in the links down below in the video description, I've got every day 20 for the last 15 years listed. So if you would like to check any of those out, take a walk down memory lane, as I've been saying. You can click through and watch any of those from day 20. Thanks for watching today, and I will see you on Wednesday for day 21.